February of 2008, Kosovo's ethnic Albanian government declared independence from Serbia. By December, some 50 countries had recognized Kosovo. But Serbia says this is something it will never accept.
This is western Kosovo, and behind me you can see the village of Brkovo. It's just a small place, but what makes it so unusual in Kosovo is that in late 2007, a handful of Serb families who had run away during the war decided to come back here. That makes Brkovo one of the very few communities in Kosovo where ethnic Albanians and ethnic Serbs live side by side as neighbours. We decided to follow two families in Brkovo, one Albanian and one Serb, throughout this historic year in Kosovo. Our idea was to see what the prospects are of two communities living in peace in a land which has been divided for so long by hatred and war.
As Yugoslavia fell apart in the 90s, the mainly Serb Yugoslav army moved into Kosovo to suppress KLA guerrillas fighting for independence for the majority Albanian population. Many Albanians fled into neighboring countries, a desperate exodus fueled by atrocities carried out by Serb troops. In March 1999, NATO began bombing Yugoslavia to stop the persecution of Albanians. NATO succeeded in forcing Serb troops out, but failed to protect Serb civilians. Now they suffered ethnic cleansing at the hands of Albanians. Some 100,000 fled from Kosovo. The province which Serbs regard as their spiritual home slipped out of Belgrade's control. 9 years have passed. It's February 2008, and Savo Banjak is one of the Serbs who's come back to rebuild his old life in the village of Brkovo. For Savo and his wife Lubinka, a new start, after years of demoralizing exile in southern Serbia.
We only got here 2 months ago. Everything was in ruins and overgrown with weeds. We have to start life from zero, which is very difficult. So far, we haven't had any problems with our neighbors. For the time being.
But Savo's children could see no future in this ruined village and decided not to come back with him to Kosovo. The returning Serbs are mainly old, mainly men. They've just heard that Kosovo's ethnic Albanian government will declare independence from Serbia in the coming days. They worry what this means.
No matter how hard they're trying to take it away from us, we are staying. I haven't stolen anything from anyone. This is mine, and mine alone. And it's all I have.
On the other side of the village and of Kosovo's divide, Luj Bekaj is an ethnic Albanian, working the land of Brkovo for 30 years. A tough life. He can't even afford to send his children to school. But he believes independence will change everything.
God willing, it will be soon. Things will change for the better. We waited 100 years for this, under Serb occupation.
So how do he and his family feel about Serbs coming back to the village?
They've come back to their property. The ones that have done something wrong will not come back, and they don't come back. But the ones who have returned have done nothing wrong, so I'm not going to harm them. They will be in their homes and we will be in our homes. So everything is normal.
The declaration of independence by Kosovo's government was accompanied by an eruption of joy. In the capital Pristina, the sculpture spells out the word newborn, and the ethnic Albanian crowd saw this as the triumphant culmination of a long and bloody struggle against the Serbs. They were still dancing the next day and saying thank you to the Americans and Europeans who had backed their independence. Celebrations took place across Kosovo. We'd given Luj and his family a camera so they could keep a video diary this year. Here, his children join in the street dances in a small town near Barkovo. And back at home, even Luj's grandson was allowed to raise a glass to the new era.
It's obvious that it's going to be better. The president is good. Europe is going to help us. America is also going to help us. The countries that are with us are strong.
We also asked our Serb family to keep a video diary. They saw no reason to celebrate on the day of independence, but played cards at home, hoping there would be no trouble. In vain, as it turned out. Serb reaction came in Belgrade, not Kosovo. A huge crowd protested the Declaration of Independence. Anger and humiliation whipped up by Prime Minister Kostunica. Soon afterwards, hundreds attacked the American embassy. In Kosovo, they'd celebrated American friendship. Here, they vented their fury towards the West, which they believed had helped steal their sacred Kosovo. Back in Barkovo, Savo and his brother Andrea have more down-to-earth concerns, planting crops for the first time since they came home. They filmed this important moment and the arrival of a mechanized ploughing machine, a gift from foreign donors and the Kosovan government. It should make farming easier, but trouble is brewing again. This time in a nearby Kosovan town, Mitrovica, where Serbs opposed to independence attack UN and NATO peacekeepers with grenades and guns. At the end of this chaotic day, one soldier had died, many dozens were injured. And with the peacekeepers reluctant to use force against the Serbs, Kosovo's future hung in the balance. But for Albanians, these are still happy days. Our family filmed this gathering over the Easter holiday. Most ethnic Albanians in Kosovo are nominally Muslim. But here in Western Kosovo, many are Catholic, like Luj and his family. Back in Barkovo, Luj and Savo seem to be getting on well. It looks like it might be the beginning of a tentative friendship. They speak together in Serbian, as Savo does not speak Albanian. They're now partners in this new venture, intended to lift Barkovo out of poverty. A pig farm just opened. Savo and Luj have part-time jobs here. Again, the farm is funded by the Kosovan government and foreign aid groups. And the pig farm seems to be a catalyst, bringing Serbs and Albanians together.
Of course, this brings us closer. We can communicate with them and they can communicate with us, because we work together.
Later in April, Savo and Lubinka filmed their visit to Belgrade to see their children and their little granddaughter, Milica. A happy time, but also for Savo a reminder of how his family is broken up. His son has no desire to go back to Brkovo. The old Serb communities that used to live in Kosovo are no more. Weeks later, in early May, Serbs elected a new government. The nationalist Prime Minister, Kostunica, confronting the West over Kosovo, looking for another term. But when the results came out in Belgrade, a surprise. Victory for pro-Western Democrats, led by President Boris Tadic. The Democrats also reject Kosovan independence, but getting Serbia into the EU is their priority. The celebrations went on long into the night. This result reduced tension across the Balkans. A defining moment of the year for Serbia, Kosovo, and even the families we've been following in the little village of Brkovo.